Hello and welcome. I'm Saeed from storyplanet.net. Dive right into the essence of the most captivating books without reading them cover to cover. Whether you're on the go, at the gym, or just relaxing at home, we offer you a unique and enriching listening experience. Today, we are exploring the book, Hood Feminism, a creation by Mikki Kendall. In Hood Feminism, 2020, it is discussed how feminism has frequently prioritized white women over all women. True inclusivity in feminism requires advocating for all women, especially those facing the most significant challenges, such as women of color. Before we delve into these revelations, it's interesting to note that Mikki Kendall's work has appeared in various publications such as The Guardian, The Washington Post, The Boston Globe, and Time. She is known for discussing topics like race, feminism, and pop culture. A Chicago resident, she is a veteran and lives with her family. With 8 key ideas to unveil, brace yourself for a deep dive into this captivating book on storyplanet.net. To start, the text discusses how feminism has not equally benefited all women, leaving some marginalized. Feminism needs to expand its focus beyond privileged women to truly support all women. Mikki Kendall emphasizes the importance of addressing issues like poverty and voting rights in the feminist agenda to ensure equality for all women. The movement can only be effective when it speaks for all women, including the disadvantaged. Key idea number 1. Feminism often prioritizes white women over minorities. The text discusses how author Mikki Kendall's grandmother, though not identifying as a feminist, embodied a form of feminism that prioritized issues relevant to her and highlighted the gap in mainstream feminism that often excludes women of color. It emphasizes the importance of intersectionality in feminism, calling for more support and solidarity for women of color to achieve true equity. The narrative brings attention to the tendency of mainstream feminism to overlook the unique challenges faced by minority women and the necessity of addressing these issues for a more inclusive movement. Key idea number 2. Progressive thinking can sometimes ignore the challenges faced by people living in poverty. 42 million Americans face hunger regularly, with the majority below the poverty line being women and children. The text highlights a personal story of overcoming hunger and poverty while studying, pointing out the long-lasting impact of such experiences. It emphasizes the need for feminism to better address issues related to poverty, pointing out that progressive policies might inadvertently make life harder for struggling families. The piece discusses challenges faced by women of color in housing and the wealth gap's impact on evictions and homelessness. It stresses the importance of acknowledging and supporting those dealing with poverty for survival. Key idea number 3. Black girls growing up in poverty often lack the necessary support. Kendall, like many black girls, faced being labeled fast or sexually precocious unfairly at a young age. This harmful stereotype contributes to victim blaming and lack of support for black girls who experience sexual abuse. Research shows a high rate of sexual abuse among black girls in the US, with inadequate support systems in place. Schools, often perceived as safe, can perpetuate bias and criminalization of Black and Latinx students, with police presence leading to disproportionate harm. Placing police in schools may not enhance safety, but can increase criminalization of students, particularly Black students. This reflects society's failure to protect and support young women of color. Key idea number 4. Body image issues specifically impact black girls. Kendall faced pressure to alter her appearance, including her hair due to colorism. Body image issues affect black girls, with dark-skinned individuals facing discrimination. Challenges like eating disorders impact girls of color too, often overlooked in discussions on beauty. Feminism should address the unique struggles women and girls of color face, advocating for better understanding and support. Key idea number 5. Parenting and reproductive rights discussions vary based on different social backgrounds and experiences. Feminist issues vary based on privilege and background, impacting experiences like domestic violence and reproductive rights differently. Poverty complicates parenting and reproductive rights, with issues like abortion intersecting with race and facing unique challenges for marginalized groups. Support from privileged individuals is crucial to address these disparities and provide necessary assistance. Key idea number 6. Law enforcement provides confidence to white feminists, but not to people of color. Carceral feminism, relying mainly on police and the justice system, may not effectively address sexual or gendered violence. This approach can lead to more trauma, particularly for women of color. Reporting abuse may result in negative consequences, such as poverty or even facing prosecution for self-defense. The system often fails to address issues faced by marginalized groups, with statistics showing disparities in attention and protection. True feminist solidarity should transcend race, with communities of women providing support to each other as a more effective solution. Key idea number 7. Some white women in prominent positions that feminism provided them with have caused harm. Many white women have supported problematic presidential candidates, and even women in positions of power have sometimes advocated for causes harmful to women. Voting for the right candidate is not always easy due to voter suppression efforts, disproportionately affecting people of color. Voting rights should be a key feminist concern. Key idea number 8. Being an ally is not sufficient. One must actively be an accomplice in creating change. The text emphasizes the importance of using anger as a force for good, particularly for Black women, in advocating for social justice. It advocates for individuals to go beyond being allies and become accomplices, taking concrete actions to challenge white supremacy and support marginalized communities. The text also calls for a reassessment of feminism to ensure it is inclusive of all women's experiences and not dominated by privileged voices. In conclusion, feminism must be more inclusive of women of color and their experiences. Actionable advice includes calling out racism and challenging it whenever encountered. The text recommends reading Bad Feminist by Roxane Gay for further understanding of feminist issues from alternative perspectives. Thank you for listening to this summary. If you enjoyed this exploration, we invite you to discover other fascinating books on storyplanet.net. Don't wait any longer. A multitude of books, stories, and knowledge await you there. See you soon on storyplanet.net.